Food is a large part of our cultural identities. Here, in the cosmopolitan city of London, food from almost every culture can be found. Chefs from all over the globe bring their heritage and know-how to London's ever-growing food scene. I'm here today at London's Chinatown, where plenty of Asian restaurants, shops, and activities can be found. I want to find out more about the relationship between food and culture.
For many people, particularly those from minority backgrounds, food can be both personal and political.
I spoke to London-based Filipino food content creator May Williams on the history behind Filipino food.
I think Filipino food reflects the Filipino culture a lot, also its heritage. Filipino food is colorful and it connects with our history. We have a colorful history, being colonized by Spain and then by America, and we have the Japanese coming into the Philippines. So we have a lot of influences from those countries as well.
The exchange of food and culture traces back centuries. But now, more than ever, the exchange of ingredients, techniques, and recipes means that there is a larger variety of food that can be found in places that it did not originate from. New ideas can be birthed from the mixing of cultures. The concept of fusion food has come into play since the 1980s, but has been accused of misrepresenting and profiteering of cultures. But not everyone agrees. Many chefs have come under fire for food appropriation and misrepresenting food. A video posted by Mexican teenager Daniela Rubeles racked up over 3 million views on social media app TikTok, parodying how culinary creators appropriate from people of color, with many in the comments sharing her sentiments. According to journalist Meridian March, when making another culture's food inauthentically, we fail to respect the culture it originated from, reinforce stereotypes, and thus contribute to oppression, known as food cultural appropriation. But despite the cries of outrage, these incidents are far from uncommon.
With the rising tensions in identity politics, keeping food out of the conversation is a tempting choice. Why can't we just eat or sell what we want?
Many people have also argued that food appropriation or cultural appropriation in general is impeding creativity and freedom, and that those who call out appropriation are creating an environment of fear. These are some comments and threads on Reddit, a popular online forum. But what are the human cost and social impacts? I spoke to Anna Chan, the founder of the Asian Leadership Collective, who explains the impact of food appropriation on the affected communities.
The impact of food misrepresentation of a culture or historical identity can be varying. At best, the impact can be seen as insensitive, crude, ignorant, and at worst, and this is usually how the affected community feels, is that the portrayal is racist, an erasure and othering of something so integral to their identity and lived experience. And this is where usually companies fall down, is when a community or a person calls in about cultural misrepresentation, which we sadly do see a lot in the food industry. And there is an instant reaction which is more interested in protecting themselves rather than a willingness to do better. So all of this does not address the issues at heart, which can create an environment for cycles of harm for these communities being appropriated, especially from the businesses who are making a profit from the culture and heritage that they're cooking these foods from.
What are your thoughts on profiting off ethnic food?
I think it's important to acknowledge the systems of power in these industries, but especially around food. So too often you'll read that the inspiration for a food business is from a trip that is made to a different exotic country, which is generally fine, but what follows is the desire to make the food better, cleaner, healthier, which insults the overall cultural experience of where the food came from. And it really insinuates that there is a need to refine, to make something better, or seeking out different dishes and drinks for the sole purpose of making a profit without acknowledging or appreciating the historical value of that specific item. And there are certain privileges at play here to be able to build a business like this using other people's lived experience without giving back to the communities and countries that they have taken from. I can't think of one large food business which profits from East and Southeast Asian food who have supported the Stop Asian Hate campaign in the UK, where the anti-Asian racism affected this community and all over the world.
So the question is, how can we do it right?
I asked Ms. Wanlin, Anthropology PhD researcher at the School of Oriental and African Studies. She is also a food writer.
I think the first thing is the attitude. It's in terms of how you look at the food. Are you looking at Chinese food as an equal compared to the British food or where culture you come from? The second thing is about respect. I think it's about respecting the cultural and all these historical context behind this dish or behind this particular cuisine. And that requires lots of research and knowledge and understanding about the thing that you're critiquing. It's not like you just go there randomly without knowing anything and talk about it.
While the problem of food appropriation will likely linger on, we as a society have to continue engaging in discussions to reach an understanding. EC Eats is a campaign celebrating East Asian and Southeast Asian culture and heritage storytelling through food. This year, the main theme is Humans of EC Eats, the celebration of the people who drive community and our storytelling. Find out more about our events at asianleadership.co.uk/ECEats-2022.